it's giving you a green light saying it's already charged. And it's not. It's dead. It won't even register when I put it in my vaporizer. So I went online and there was a couple of tips and tricks on how to reactivate these batteries. There's a safety device underneath this cap right here, and people are sticking objects through these little holes and gently pressing down on the, can't focus here, on, see it little crack right there? They're putting little metal objects in there and pushing down on the cap beneath the top cap, and something, I think it's called a CID or whatever like that. And what it does is it allows them to charge the battery. I was afraid to do that. I'm afraid to do that because I've read some things in there. It says, well, that's a safety device you're tampering with. If you mash down on that and it releases the gas or whatever, I mean, you essentially bypassing that safety device, which could lead to this battery maybe exploding or something like that. And I don't want to go out like that. So another trick that I seen that you can do, you can take a 9-volt battery, put a positive wire here and a negative wire here to the 9-volt battery, and boost the battery basically like you would jump off a car for about 20 to 30 seconds. And then you take the 9-volt battery wires off, you put this into the charger, and it starts charging. And the reason it's not charging is because you had let it go all the way dead and it's below a 0.5 volt, and the charger won't recognize the battery. But I found another way that I think is better. So what I did is I put my battery in my little charger here. Let's see if I can, wish I had my tripod. I could probably do this a lot easier. I'm gonna put my battery in here. And you noticed if you put it all the way in like I did a while ago, the light was green. That means it's not charging. So what I did is I pulled the battery positive side up a little bit to where you have a gap underneath the battery. In other words, that contact is barely making connection with the edge of the positive side. And then I plugged it in and that light was red. And I said, I wonder if that'll work. And we're gonna put it in here. Voila. Look, battery is partially out, just barely making contact with that positive side, and now my light is red. So I've done this already on 2 other batteries, and I found I left it in there for a couple of minutes like that, and then I took the batteries out of that charger and put both of them into my machine, my vaporizer, and look, voila, they are charging. Like I said, I did both batteries one at a time, and I put them in here and I popped the battery out just a little bit to where it's barely making contact on the positive side. And then after I did that, I'm gonna push this battery all the way in. There you go. It's all, well, it popped out the side. Push it all the way in, and let's see if that light turns red. Now, as you see, the battery's all the way in, and it's charging. So what I'm thinking is that by making contact with that outside edge right there, I'll show you what it looks like. With the battery all the way in, you're touching right about here. I had the battery on the very edge of this, and it's not making a whole connection, but just enough to give it a little bit of a trickle charge. And I think that was enough to wake up the battery somehow. I don't know how many people are throwing away batteries when all they've done is went to sleep. So see if you try this and see if it'll work. Like I said, you put the battery in there and you don't push it all the way in. My battery's trying to run away on me. Don't push it all the way down. Leave it barely touching on the positive side. Plug it in and see if your red charging light comes on. If it does, leave it in there for about a minute. That should wake your battery up. Take it out of that. I guess it goes into a protective mode when it goes all dead. and most of us throw them away and go spend $25 on 2 new batteries. Now, I'm pretty sure somebody with the battery company probably knows this, and they're not telling us this because they'd rather us just go buy new batteries. But from an environmental standpoint, imagine how many of these batteries we're throwing in a landfill that could be reawoken and recharged. You know, I guess the truth is out there. But like I said earlier, I don't know about tampering with this, you know, and trying to undo that pin underneath and bypassing a safety device is never a good idea. So get your safety on, don't do that. The jump in the battery, I didn't have the 9-volt battery to do that, but that may work. That kind of makes sense, you know. You might be able to add enough voltage to this battery for the charger to recognize it. But all I did was manipulate how I put the battery in here to where it would get like a little, where the contact was touching on the very edge of this top, not the whole edge, just on the very edge, and it gave it a trickle charge. And that trickle charge woke the battery up. Probably brought it up to a couple of volts, to where the charger would then recognize it. And like I said, the other 2 batteries I've already done, they're holding a charge. They woke up. So before you throw your batteries away, give that a shot. Thank you for watching my video. Please subscribe to my channel and have a blessed day.